Welcome. In this video, we're going to show you how to split income in retirement. And we're going to show you how you can save thousands of dollars on your tax bill and reduce government benefit clawbacks by taking advantage of this income splitting strategy in retirement. We're going to show you exactly what sort of income is eligible for income splitting. We're going to show you an example of how a couple can reduce their overall tax bill by taking advantage of this income splitting strategy. And at the end of the video, we're also going to show you how you can better split income in retirement by planning ahead before you reach retirement itself. Now, my name is Owen. I'm an advice-only financial planner and a CFP. As an advice-only financial planner, I don't sell products. I don't manage investments. What we do is we build very detailed retirement plans for our clients. So what is pension income splitting? Well, if we have two individuals and they're each earning a different amount of income in retirement, then if they're not a common law couple or they're not married, then they're each taxed on their individual income. So an individual with a higher amount of income is going to pay more tax, and an individual with a lower amount of income is going to pay less tax. Now, a couple or a common law couple in retirement can split that income. Now, this is a purely paper transaction, so there's no actually money moving back and forth, but they can split that income so that they ideally have exactly equal income, taxable income in retirement, and they can reduce their tax bill. So the higher income earner can shift some of their income and tax owing over to the lower income earner, and combined, they can pay less tax on that overall combined income. Okay, so here we're on the Government of Canada website. We're on the CRA page related to pension income splitting, and that's what we're concerned with. We're concerned with pension income splitting in retirement. Now, there's certain types of income that's eligible for pension income splitting, and it depends on the age. So if we go over here, we've got eligible pension income. We've got eligible pension income less than age 65. So it depends what your age is in the year, at the end of the year. And we've got eligible pension income older than age 65. So let's look at less than age 65. Now, there's all sorts of types of income here, but the one that's most common is payments from a registered pension plan, specifically a defined benefit pension plan. So payments from a defined benefit pension plan are eligible for income splitting before the age of 65. And this is a huge advantage for anybody who has a defined benefit pension. There are other types of income that are eligible for income splitting before the age of 65, but is quite limited. The big one is payments from a registered pension plan. So if you have a defined benefit pension plan, and this doesn't include defined contribution, DPSP, or anything like that, group RSP, it's really a defined benefit pension plan, then you have a big advantage in terms of income splitting in retirement. Now, after age 65, there is additional income sources that are eligible for income splitting. And again, there's a big long list here, and you can take a look with your accountant on what might be eligible. But after age 65, the other big one that we're interested in is RIF income. So payments from a registered retirement income fund after the age of 65 are eligible for pension income splitting. And so if you're making RRSP withdrawals, registered retirement saving plan withdrawals, those are not eligible. Even though it says it here, this is a very specific type of RRSP income that most people won't have. So when you're thinking about pension income splitting, you also need to be thinking about, should I be converting my RSP to a RIF, and what time should I be doing that? So those decisions are going to be very closely linked. Now, before we get into a specific example, I want to highlight a couple things about pension income splitting. And number one is that you can only split 50% of eligible pension income. So you can't send 100% of eligible pension income over to a lower common law partner or spouse. You can only send up to 50%. Now, the other thing I want to highlight is that most tax software will do this automatically. So when you're filing tax every year, you don't really have to worry about it. Definitely double check that the software is doing it for you. But what we're really talking about here is planning ahead for those tax savings. And the reason we want to plan ahead for those tax savings is that if you know that you can confidently save thousands of dollars a year in tax by taking advantage of pension income splitting, then that also means that you can spend more in early retirement. So if we look at the last video that we did, we know that if we can plan ahead for some of these things, we can confidently spend more in early retirement, knowing that we have tax savings throughout the rest of retirement. Okay, so I want to run you through an example of how impactful this sort of pension income splitting can be for a couple in retirement. So in this case, we're going to run through an example on the advice platform. If you want to build your own retirement plan, you can do so. You can go to advice.ca and get your own retirement plan started with this software. We use it with our clients to build collaborative financial plans. So if we look at this example, we've got Jennifer and Michael here. They've got a fairly large RSP balance, a little bit more for Jennifer than Michael. And I already can see this is going to be a bit of a problem because Jennifer's also got a pension that's going to be eligible for pension income splitting. So one of the challenges is that we've got more assets in Jennifer's name than Michael, which is going to make it a challenge to split income in retirement. So this is the savings that they've got. They've got about $400,000, but they've also got this pension. So if I go down here to tax and benefits and I scroll down, I can see that Jennifer is going to be getting a pension starting at age 60 of about $58,000 a year in today's dollars. That's going to go down when the bridge benefit goes away at age 65. It's going to be $51,000. But this is going to be a big advantage for them pre-65 because they can split that $58,000 adjusted for inflation. They're going to be able to split that amount when they're in early retirement, so between 60 and 65. So let's take a look at the projections here. Now the advice platform, it's going to do pension income splitting automatically for us. So if we look at their initial plan here, they're retiring at age 60. We've got the pension started. Their net worth looks quite good. They draw down a little bit. In retirement, they're spending down $91,500 a year. And then in late retirement, that goes down to about $80,000 a year. So they've got quite a good plan. They're drawing down their assets, but later in retirement, when they reduce their spending, they actually have quite a bit of flexibility there. So their TFSA actually ends up growing later in retirement. The plan looks quite successful at 100%, but what we're interested in is the income splitting. So if I go down here to the table and we open up Jennifer's tax column and we scroll over to the right, we can see the income splitting that the platform is doing automatically for us. So it's taking the eligible pension income, and if we scroll back to the right, we open up Jennifer's pension columns, we can see that adjusted for inflation, there's going to be $66,000 in that first year of retirement. If I scroll back over here to pension income splitting, we can see that it's actually splitting exactly half that. And if we go over to Michael's taxable income, we can see that the platform here is sending that income over to Michael's side to be taxed at a lower tax rate. So if I close up these columns here and we look at their marginal tax rates side by side, we can see in early retirement, the platform's doing as much as it can to split that income perfectly equally in retirement, and it's doing that automatically. So you can see for the most part, they have very, very similar marginal tax rates, which is really what we're aiming for here in retirement. So that looks really good, but I want to show you what happens if we were to turn off that income splitting. So in the AI strategy table here, and if you haven't seen this before, it's quite neat. So the platform will run multiple iterations of the plan for us within a couple of seconds. And those iterations get ranked by lifetime spending, net worth, and success rate. And they focus on different areas and strategies within the retirement accumulation and decumulation plan. So here we've got accumulation order, we've got things like RSP start age, and it's automatically evaluating for us what the net worth and success rate would look like if they were to start at different points in time. So extremely valuable because within a couple seconds, we can see all of these options for us. So CPP start age, decumulation options, debt payoff options, maximizing TFSA in retirement, different levels of retirement spending, OAS start age, lots of different options here, RSP meltdown. But what we're interested in is the tax planning one. And in particular, we're going to disable income splitting so that we can see the impact on the plan. And already we can get a sense of it here. So when we have income splitting enabled, this is our current net worth at the end of the plan. They've got their home, equity, etc., 1.6 million. If we were to turn off income splitting, it's already saying that we're going to have a net worth that's over $200,000 less simply because of the extra tax we're going to pay. So that's how valuable this is for this couple, Jennifer and Michael. So let's enable it. Let's go back up here and recalculate. We're going to see net worth go down because they're not splitting income as well. They still have a little bit of room there, but it's much less than they had before. Their success rate is down to 91% from over 100%. And here we can see there's a little bit of extra tax to pay, but it's going to be more impactful if we go down to the table. So here before we saw the marginal tax rate. We can see here it's now not equal anymore. So Jennifer's paying anywhere from 30 to 34% marginal tax. Michael's paying very little tax, and we're not doing a great job of splitting income because we shut off that income splitting. So now if we open up the Jennifer's tax column here, we can see that there's zero income being split throughout the entire period of the plan. So this is having a big impact on their ability to spend. And if I re-rank by net worth, we're going to see, is it one of the top strategies? It is. So other than reducing spending, enabling the income splitting is actually more impactful than even reducing spending by $3,000 a year. So what this is telling me immediately is that the value of income splitting is more than $3,000 of reduced spending. So by splitting income in retirement, this couple can confidently spend at least $3,000 more just by doing this income splitting strategy. Now, I hope that example showed you why pension income splitting is so valuable in retirement. Now, even though you can do pension income splitting, and that's one option to split pension income, I want to highlight two other opportunities that you want to be thinking about. So pension income splitting is a great tool. It's purely on paper, but it has some disadvantages. So like we saw before the age of 65, it's a little bit more limited, and you can only split 50% of eligible pension income. So it doesn't always work if one person in the couple has accumulated a lot of assets. So what we want to be thinking about is two other things. So one, a spousal RSP is a great way to split income in retirement, especially before the age of 65. So if you don't have equal registered assets leading up to retirement, definitely think about using a spousal RSP. We want to think about having entering retirement, especially early retirement, with each person in the couple having roughly equal registered assets in RSP, LIF, LIRA, etc. Now, the other thing we want to think about, and this is a little bit less of an opportunity, but is CPP pension sharing. So you can actually share your CPP pension. You can apply for that to be split between a couple. It's a little bit less of an opportunity, but if you do have wildly different income in retirement, that's something to think about looking at, is CPP pension sharing as well. Now, if you haven't already, I would love it if you would like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're coming out with retirement planning videos on a regular basis to help you make the most of your retirement assets. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you at the next one.